Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Blind? Now I'm here in the sewers because the Samizdat have asked for my help. I'm also investigating the murders of the harvester, which at this point I'm pretty certain is indeed Daria Myska, the woman that was supposedly a witness in the first part of the quest, but I hope I don't stumble upon the conclusion of that quest by accident, because there's something I need to investigate in the other district, but I didn't want to go all the way through the metro without checking what the Samizdat want first. So with any luck I can combine those two side quests to avoid excessive backtracking.
You always did want to travel.
To travel, yes. Not to be a fugitive.
The state police won't come after us. They want us out. We're just taking the initiative.
Do you think it will be better anywhere else?
I don't know. But it can't be worse than this or Golem.
Ah, so the Samizdat have bbeen talking
I just want to get home.
in their newspapers about providing a shelter for people, so I guess that's why all of the other people are here.
My cousin in Bratislava says you learn to accept living with special citizen status. Better than being treated as a criminal.
It's so easy to think it won't happen to us. It won't keep getting worse. We should have left a long time ago. The cops are making things worse. I recognize you.
That's Milena, the forger.
Tall, dark, and augmented. Over here.
Was she always part of Samizdat? Or did she recently join? Well, I guess maybe she'll tell me.
Milena, you didn't take my advice about giving up on forgery.
I know. But trouble is, I've got a talent for it. And it's a real growth market. As soon as you got me out of that thing with Dragomir, I had like 20 emails from Samizdat. Do you have any idea how difficult it is for art school graduates to find a specialist subject these days?
The permits aren't enough for police anymore, forged or real.
In Prague, maybe. But it turns out I'm multilingual when it comes to falsifying border passes. Lucky, right?
If it works, I'd say lucky.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Super Commando Man.
Oh, don't mention it, Milena.
If there was an easier option, you think we wouldn't take it? I was less stressed out when I was working at gunpoint.
We may not agree on your methods, but I'll let you get back to your work.
Coming from you, that is like the gold star seal of approval. Augmented or non-augmented? Non-augmented. Estonia. Tallinn's nice this time of year. Estonia.
Okay.
Tallinn's nice this time of year.
I suppose you responded, I am willing to volunteer on the Samizdat mailing list too. How am I going to explain this to my brother?
I work for the State Department during the day, and during the night, I try to undo it all again.
That's kind of hilarious.
Yes, I am a little bit crazy.
But I guess it makes total sense. Like, if you want all those inside scoops, then it would make total sense to have someone on the inside.
Not now. You'll make her lose her place. Declaration of Augmentation. Tigard Registry. History of permit applications. Ugh, this one. Notice of revocation of welfare on basis of augmentation.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
Why do we need these things? Just bad memories of Prague killing us one form at a time.
We don't need to keep them. We need to make sure we get rid of them. That's what the girl with the blue hair said.
Are you certain she knows what she's doing?
We already gave her our passports. I used to want to go full body augmentation like you.
They've taken away everything.
Okay, let's finally talk to... I think her name was Lil K.
Tall, dark, and augmented. Over here. Welcome to the underground. I owe you an apology for hacking your info link.
to be honest, like, I understand that, but why couldn't they, if they could hack it, then they were in range, why couldn't they have just contacted me and asked me for help instead of actually hacking it? Because I understand they may have had good reason, but it still seems like, pushing the boundaries of privacy, because it's basically like hacking your mind, like parts of it, If somebody, I feel like there's a meaningful difference between calling somebody, like on the phone or on the infolink, and calling somebody inside their own head. Like, I would certainly not feel okay with that.
Yeah, it's a sore point after what happened a couple of years ago. Maybe you saw the news.
Please understand, it was the biggest risk I could take. All Samizdat's communications are bugged. The police raided the offices last night, cleared us out. We were broadcasting until they pulled the plug. Radios, flyers, mail bursts, the makeshift media van. Getting the message out to our subscribers if they needed a refuge. As you can see, it went a little wider than we anticipated.
It happened to Kay.
What happened to Kay?
Kay is me now, according
Sure.
to the Samizdat manifesto. It's all very third wave socialist with a dash of martyr complex.
Good to know. But I mean, what physically happened to him?
Arrested or
His
dead?
name is Yarek. Yarek Drobny. He's being held by the police along with Bones. No contact, no bail, no rights, plausible deniability.
He must have known the risks.
Well, he was open to the existence of risks. When you showed up, it should have been a wake-up call, but you were reasonable. The state isn't reasonable.
Okay, so again, this is kind of hilarious for me as a Polish person, because as I mentioned a couple of times, Czech is inherently hilarious to Polish people because a lot of their words sound like diminutives in Polish in comparison. So basically, they sound like it was baby talk, and this is a good example because Jarek is actually a given name, a first name in Poland as well, but it is a diminutive of the name Jarosław. So you would never give that version of the name in the official capacity. It's not listed in your documents. If you would introduce yourself in a formal situation as an adult, saying that you're Jarek, then you'd be treated as weird at best, and as potentially mentally not all right at worst. You would be treated as someone who's not serious, who has a childlike attitude towards life, and I guess I'm not sure. I might have to check it, but I guess in Czech it's just a regular name. It is the full version of the name. And to make it even funnier, Drobny is, assuming it means the exact same thing that it does in Polish, it means something along the lines of little, of little frame, small in frame. So basically, his name would be something akin, if you try to, it would be something akin to introducing yourself as, I don't know, Bobby the Small One or something like that, as opposed to Robert Small, or some more official sounding name. Samizdat.
This isn't what I call laying low. Aren't you afraid the police will find you again, finish what they started?
They already got Kate, Bones, the backup servers, even the shitty coffee machine. Enough for them to call it a win and get back to indiscriminate brutality on the streets.
Where were you when this happened?
Right here, running our little home away from home. Our sources tipped us off about the martial law. Either we could write about it and throw our hands up. Boy, I sure hope this massive rights violation doesn't end up being too awful this time. Or we could enact a readiness plan and really do something.
Yeah, when we first met, I called you pamphleteers. I guess I should apologize.
Oh no, we were pamphleteers. Now we're pamphleteers, jury rigging an underground railroad.
So are you running a resistance cell here or a campaign room?
Why not both? Now Samizdat has a captive voter base. We could run for the Senate.
It's organized resistance then.
Peaceful resistance. We're working together to get people under the cordon and out of Prague. It's a happy accident of a police state. Well, I say happy when everyone's repressed, they can see past their prejudices.
Or they shift the blame. It's gonna take a long time for those prejudices to heal.
As long as certain people can profit from keeping the wounds fresh. But you knew that already.
I'm pretty sure you didn't call me to put up posters. What's the deal?
We've made a plan. We're getting people out of the city, starting first thing tomorrow. I want Yarek and Bones to go with them, but first, we need to bust them out of jail. Tonight.
And you think I'm the kind of guy who breaks into police stations?
Are you telling me you're not?
Well, actually, I did break into a couple of police stations already, most noticeably in Golem, but also in Prague. And then, you know, at this point, like, obviously there's a lot of legalistic discussion to be had here. Obviously what I'm doing is, like, technically majorly illegal, but I feel like at the point where the police are actively shooting people in the streets and, you know, detaining them without trial forever, like without, presumably she said he wasn't even charged, which is like super illegal. I feel like this is the point where you can justifiably, you know, enter into active resistance against the government. If there is any point, it's probably the point where the police are actively shooting people in the streets.
Fine, I'll get them out. They're being held in the temporary police station downtown?
Yes. By the Monument Metro. Once you're clear, takes them across the plaza to the United Cleaners. We've cached everything they need for a long road trip along the old NATO decommissioning zone.
That's your escape route? Puts getting them past the state police into perspective.
It works on paper. And gives them these new identity documents, a lot of new identities. We found a very good forger. We're keeping her from a bright future in a Pika's newsroom.
And to be honest, you know, compared...
We'll have to borrow more trucks. Can we get back into the city trash depot tonight?
We have already taken so many. Maybe we should consider freight trains again.
You don't know where those trains have been? I don't either, but it's highly radioactive.
That would be bad.
I recognize you.
Okay, I will call my brother. Again.
Tell him he's a true hero of the Resistance.
A true hero. He will like that.
You'll make him a badge.
Compared to most revolutionaries, I feel like I'm, you know, overall very gentle, because after all, I'm not going to kill any of them. I'm just going to non-lethally incapacitate them for a couple hours while I break the others out of prison. Now, let me check, because I want to see if those passes are an actual, like an actual item I can view. ID card, no, that's from the murder. That's Angela Gunn's. Cell phone, cut collar, accessory. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think they are. Oh well, but let me at the very least take a look at this. Travel to... Yeah, so I think I don't want to follow the trail yet because I want to find the clinic that one of the emails was talking about. So I guess I am traveling to the other district after all. Now, was there... I think this goes out, right? This is actually a basement of one of the shops, I think. Yeah. What's up?
Oh, what can I get you? Beer? Something else?
What else have you got?
Oh, just an item of interest.
For someone who lives off of their sales, you're unusually reserved.
Ah, she wants neuropozyne.
Sometimes it's hard to know who to trust, especially these days. For example, I don't suppose you have any neuropozyne you would be willing to spare, do you?
Yeah, at this point, actually, I do. I have plenty of it.
Sure, here you go.
Thank you. I can't tell you how much this means.
These are tough times. We all have to do what we can.
You understand? That's... You have no idea how many people just look the other way. But we can't afford to. Not Oggs, and not anyone else. What happens to one happens to all of us.
The neuropozyne isn't even for you, is it?
No, it's not. I'm what you might call a... Well, I think of myself as a Samaritan smuggler. I get things for people in need.
That's nice.
Listen, I can't let you leave without thanking you properly. I store a few supplies in the basement. The code to the door is 1015. Help yourself to what's down there.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. Like you said, we all need to help each other. Now, is there anything else I can do for you?
Let's see those odds and ends you have for sale.
First aid pack. I do have plenty of painkillers anyway, so I don't think I need them.
I'm good for now.
As you wish.
But it is kind of hilarious that she didn't notice I was coming from her basement in the first place, but I didn't, because I was actually exploring this before, and I didn't take any of her stuff because I wasn't feeling like it, you know, like stealing. But I guess now I have her explicit permission, so I'm just going to go to town on this. I don't really need the beer though, so I'm going to throw that away. Yeah, and now about the map. I feel like all of my objectives, yeah, this is the police station, this is the pharmacy where the information about Daria. Yeah, speak to him before doing anything else. My thought exactly. So, I guess I'm back to the metro. However annoying I find it. Now, how far am I from? Not far at all. It's actually right across the street. I'm actually... Frick, I'm actually dead because of the lag. Oh yes, that's some major lag there. Huh, it's actually kind of surprising how laggy that was. And also, I must say, it's kind of hilarious how bad I am at this game. Like, each time I try to, you know, be stealthy for a second, I end up noticed just a moment after. But at this point, as I said, I don't even particularly care. Like, it is what it what it is. Okay, it's time for another track. Now, my objectives, I think, are mostly in the middle, so I'm just going for the monument station. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to go and break out K and the others from the Samizdat first, because it's a lot closer to the metro station, because I seem to remember that the police station is right across the street here, right besides the corner. Probably shouldn't be going through those freaking lasers, but as I said, at this point I don't particularly care about raising the alarms or whatever. This is the police station, and it has like a little jail section in the basement, so how are they seeing me? I could have sworn... because I didn't engage the... Okay, I'm dead. Because I went the wrong way. And that's kind of embarrassing. I really hope it autosaved after I crossed the metro. Yes, I did. So I can just go right this time instead of left. And I guess I didn't activate the cloak augment properly, and that's why they were shooting at me. Now, to be honest, I don't understand why there are no guards here? Like, what? I feel like the police are incredibly incompetent with that, because why are they not guarding the prisoners? Like, why is there no one? They are content enough to shoot people in the, the things have gotten so bad that they are shooting people in the streets, and still they seem to not even post guards near the actual prisoners. Like, that's kind of deranged, if you ask me. But oh well, what do I know about policing? I guess the problem is going to be how to get them away, because I assume if they run out of the building, then Keeper. I assume this is for the cells, right? I assume if they run out of the building, they are going to get shot. So that would be, problematic. But I don't really want to engage the police myself, which makes it kind of a problem, to be honest.
Trace program initiated. Access granted.
Okay, now was this for the cells? Would imagine so. Yeah, right, this one opens.
I remember our old military industrial.
And this is K and this other guy, Bones, I think.
From state police to police state. This is a dump, man. Where did all that corruption money go? You. I knew it, man. I knew you were one of them all along.
Do I look like I'm one of them?
I can't feel my hands right now, but if I could run a search for shadowy extra-government agent on the net, pretty sure it's all you.
Fair point. What happened? You pulled a Freedom of Information speech on the state police?
Ha fucking ha. They didn't wait for a speech, man. Lesson learned. Smash the state before the state smashes your nose.
Little K asked me to get you out.
She's the K now, man. I'm a liability to Samizdat.
She cares about you, Yarrick. She didn't want to leave you or Bones behind.
Always was a cool cat, man. One of the good ones. She wrote The Wheels Come Off 16 years ago, and the conspiracies just keep checking out. Everything except the grey aliens, but who's to say that's not a metaphor?
She wrote the book.
Little do you know.
I don't believe in authorial intent.
Little does he know, aliens are actually also real in the Deus Ex universe. It's just that they are not extraterrestrial. Instead, they are a bioengineered species made for, I think, security and like warfare to protect the labs. And the whole conspiracy about Roswell and the UFOs and all that, it's actually a cover story.
I might have known you wouldn't keep your heads down during the riots.
This is what the radical news source lives for, man. Lives and dies for. But the helmets on the streets, the extreme peacekeeping, that's not about the Golem riots. How are the Augs gonna get over here? Carpool? No. Someone, somewhere, wanted the cops to clean house in Prague. And this is just the beginning. What if they could call martial law anywhere, anytime? Cops without borders.
That's your prediction, huh?
You can take it to the bank, man. The Palisade Property Bank.
Huh. Actually, speaking of Palisade Property Bank, I wonder if it's still possible to go there? Because I do have... Obviously, I can't break into the VersaLife vault because they've cleared it. But I do have the codes for some of the other vaults, so I feel like it might be interesting to try and break into the others before the game ends.
I warned you about picking a fight with Picus. They've got a lot invested in protecting the message.
Would I be talking to you now if Picus had got to us? I mean, does Eliza Kassan have a sense of humor? All those bombs going off lately. What's one more in the sewers? BTW? Those are all rhetorical questions.
You don't say.
But they're trying, man. Bones heard the cops talking about extraordinary rendition. What a wonderful connected world we live in, when they can pin an acronym on you, ARC, NSF, who gives a rat's ass, and ship you off to a black site on the UN's credits.
Just how many states are you an enemy of?
All the corporate ones.
So pretty much I imagine all of them in this timeline.
You told me you were a liability to Samizdat. How do you figure that?
Because the cops burn me, man. Exposure is death. They didn't have to ask a single question. Just took my DNA off their knuckles. My high school dropout date, my sister's parking tickets, my darknet proxies. Oral cemetery.
What?
Oral cemetery?
Yeah, right, my point.
They didn't get a lot of mainstream airplay. Anyway, a little K.
That's like his band?
Any man or woman.
Samizdat is bigger than you now, Yarrick. The resistance reached further than you planned for. You want to fall on your sword, there's a better place to do it than in a holding cell.
Whoa, whoa, you know I use the term liability real broadly.
It's kind of hilarious to name your band Oral Cemetery because it seems to imply that, I don't know, words die in your mouth. Like, I don't think that name speaks very good things about your band, but it sure is kind of intriguing.
There's a way out of Prague for you both. The Samizdat resistance has organized everything. We just need to keep our heads down and get to the cleaners nearby.
The cleaners? Irony. Wait, you mean going through the cops?
Yeah, I'm definitely more... I have more faith in that, given my social aug. Maybe I can convince them. Obviously, this... I would not like to shoot at the cops, and I would not like to even engage them at all, because there's like bajillion of them. And as far as sneaking goes, I'm notoriously bad at it, so I think I'll try this.
There's a police locker in the corner that should be stocked with uniforms. Find something that fits and try to look convincing. We need the cops to think you're one of them.
But is he going to do that? Yeah, he's going to do that on his own? I'm not sure if he can manage. Like, I would feel really bad if they all got shot.
Good. It's time to go.
Meet Edward at the rendezvous. Who's Edward? Wait. Wait. What are you doing here? No, stop!
I'll be right behind you. We should send out insurance archive again.
Okay, I'm not sure why is he here, because that's the old man from Golem. Okay, if they're going into the metro. They aren't. That's a problem, actually. Yeah, I might be screwed here, because I can't like reasonably keep up with them, and I'm not.
I feel like I'm 20.
I'm not sure what the old man is doing here. I guess I'll follow him. Yeah, sure, not looking suspicious at all. Restore some battery.
I think we can finesse the evacuation plan.
You got any photos for this piece?
Are we done? Now, I would like to... Freak. The cops are actively looking for me, but I would very much like to hear the story of how the old man came to be in the cell in the first place.
My God, martial law, curfews, people being jailed for no reason. It reminds me of Warsaw 1982.
Oh.
Warsaw didn't have drones.
At the time?
Now what? Do you think we are safe here?
You are for now, but you can't risk going back outside. There's a group organizing underground. They're doing everything they can to create a refuge to get people out.
These men, they are part of this group?
That's right. I know how much it meant to you to stay in Prague, Edward, but things aren't going to get any better. If there was ever a time to leave, this is it. If you wait here, Kay's people will come for you. They'll do everything they can to help.
I think I have no choice now. I will wait here. I will cooperate. Thank you for everything you've done.
Good luck, Edward.
So I guess he's Polish then. Like, his surname isn't like distinctly Polish, but Edward is, you know, a quite common Polish name, first name, because he was referring to the time of martial law in Poland that started in December 1981, and he was talking after, you know, about 1982 later on, because it lasted quite a bit. I didn't. I wasn't expecting that, but that's cool. You know, that's another motherfucking Poland reference right there. What about the others?
Yes, exit plans, man, exit plans. Always be making them. We worked this contingency plan out when we started Samizdat. Didn't think it would actually come to this, though.
No one thought it would be like this. You're gonna need these documents where you're going, wherever that is.
I hear Paris is the best place to have a revolutionary agenda these days. If you want to come along, you can be the muscle. Well, whatever your arms are made of, the stuff they use on space shuttles.
No can do. I've got a previous engagement I really can't miss.
Right, with the cardboard box company.
Watch yourself out there, Kay.
Kay? Kay is Kazdi, man. Kay is everyone. You're part of it now.
K is każdy. That literally means K is everyone, but of course it works better in Czech or in Polish because, you know, the letters are the same. Każdy means everyone.
What were you saying?
We'll lie low until the morning. then go out to the trash vans. Pick an identity card, Bones. Any identity card.
Time for Samizdat to go international. I must practice my French.
Wait. So if they are going to France, am I supposed to treat them as, you know, as a precursor to Silhouette from Deus Ex 1?
I will be careful. I promise.
Yeah. Take care, my fellow Polish guy. Now, I do need to get to here, which is quite a distance away, to be honest, but there is a vent, so maybe I can get out of the building unnoticed. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. So... and this will actually go across the bridge, right? Which is actually kind of useful for my... purposes. Future past anti-key. That's the old museum. Are we there yet? Says the dog. I'm not sure what's that a reference to. Okay, I need to go to here, and this is the pharmacy. Now the cops are right in front of it, but if I... okay, I guess that kind of works. Now, did I explore this before? I think I did. Oh, I don't think I hacked this. Which I guess is kind of rude, but at this point, no, I kind of also don't care. I'll just check. I'm probably not going to steal anything. I'm just going to check if he has any cool, like, messages or something. So that's mostly what I'm interested in. Credit sheet.
But until then, I have to reiterate some things. I just thought of something, Steve. Even though I can't seem to unglue my eyes from her, that pacifist slut puppet Eliza Kassan...
Okay, I read that already. Not going to steal again. I'm just looking for information. I will hack into his personal computer though. Okay, there's like a safe behind the fridge. Wait, what? Doggy Holly. That's the Doge. Doge? How do you say it in? The Doge would be the highest office in Venetian Republic, so I kind of doubt that's how you say it. Okay, he's got an ebook here. I'm mostly going to read his info because maybe he has something about Daria that would be additionally interesting. Yeah, right. Case study. Presumably this is about her, right? Tiny young medical report. Donor continues to overwhelm his subject. Yeah, right. That's exactly, I called it, like I literally called it. They transplanted something from him, from the murderer, to her, and that's most recent subject was a Darian woman named Daria, suffered from an acute case of social anxiety, could not look people in the eye, could not eat in public, could barely bring herself to come in for treatment. After 3 days of mild infusions, she was all but transformed, turned into a social butterfly. Not only eat in public. She also ate what he would have eaten. Yeah, so but I wonder what exactly did they transplant. But basically, I had down to the specifics of it correctly. You know, that his personality started to overwhelm her. We are forced to employ the override phrase to reset the neural mechanism. Oh, maybe I can do the same to stop her from killing. Like, basically, I hope it's not an outright kill phrase, but rather some kind of a mind control phrase that I can sort of utilize to make her switch from his personality back to hers. Excellent opportunity to test the override functionality and prove our ability to correct personality packages on the fly. This treatment was complete in 7 days. In no time at all, she became a fully functioning member of society. Yeah, I somehow kind of doubted at this point, but still, it was very enlightening. Ask about the override. Yeah, because maybe it wouldn't have even given me the chance if I didn't read that, so it's good that I came up here. Let's check his personal computer as well.
Waiting next report.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
Should have taken care of this problem long
Access granted.
Okay. From Taeyong. We're so glad that you're part of the Taeyong medical family again. You want to remain part of the family? You will clean your damn mess. This is your responsibility. If anyone ever finds out what or why she is, you and you alone will pay for it. Find her. Yeah, so I guess, you know, they announced the procedure to be a success before they realized that it really wasn't, because she started to turn into a freaking serial killer, and now they are afraid that it might tarnish their reputation if it comes out. Pocket secretary, requested password, owning the devil. Okay, I've already actually hacked his computer, so that hardly matters.
What are you doing here? It's after curfew. It's dangerous.
Serial killers are dangerous. Curfews are just inconvenient.
I beg your pardon?
Daria Myska. Ring a bell?
I'm sorry, but I'm not at liberty to divulge anyone's personal information.
This doesn't make a lot of sense, because he knows that she's mixed in the Harvester killings, because he knows that she has the personality of the killer. I feel like trying to appeal to him doesn't necessarily work. They did this to her in the first place just because they could and were curious about whether it could work. Like, to be honest, I feel like there has been some grave error in judgment overall in this project, because if I were trying to cure somebody's social anxiety via a personality transplant, then I wouldn't have chosen a serial killer personality to like, imagine if there's a guy, like, you have an autistic child, so you decide, who's like a very, very shut in, you know, so you decide that the best way to help him is to give him a personality transplant from, like, Ted Bundy, because Ted Bundy worked as a clown and he had an outgoing personality, but on top of that he was also one of the most notorious serial killers in history. So in the end, you have this child who now is a lot more outgoing, but the end result is that his outgoing tendencies are manifesting as outright serial killing. So I feel like whoever did that was not quite alright in the head themselves. To be honest, I'm not sure why this is labeled as bluff, because at this point I do know why I'm here. I do have solid, proof on his involvement in this. I know about the procedure because I read his computer.
I don't have much time, so you need to start talking fast. Daria's in grave danger. That's if she's even still alive. If there's something I need to know about her.
Trust me, there's no hurry. The further men like you stay away from Daria, the better it is for everyone. You should forget it.
Why men like me? Look, I know about the email you sent her. I know you performed some kind of surgery. Why was it so important for Daria to meet you here?
I used to know Daria. She was a patient of mine.
Your patient? You mean here at the drugstore?
No, of course not. Before that, when I used to work for Taiyong Medical, big tech corporation. You know it?
Enough to know I don't like where this is going.
I headed a project, the cutting edge of neural science and cellular memory replacement. We dealt with people suffering from severe social disorders. We were making people better by making them better people.
What? That doesn't make sense because they've literally chosen the worst possible template. They chose the template of a serial killer to supposedly help somebody incorporate better into society. Like, how could they think this was a good idea at any step? I kind of like this. This is kind of cool as well in how snarky it is.
A company like Taiyong running experiments to make better people. What could possibly go wrong?
I'll tell you what went wrong. The incident happened. Your kind lost sympathy with the world, and my kind lost funding for their projects. The whole thing was shut down and it became very difficult to adequately follow up with patients.
Patients like Daria. What happened? What the hell did you do to her?
We were trying to help people. Imagine what it would mean if we succeeded. Anxiety, gone. Apathy, gone. Depression, gone.
Diversity gone, spontaneity gone, individuality gone. But you probably left that part out of your sales pitch.
Daria is responsible for what Daria does. The only reason Taiyong forced me to get involved is because so much is at stake for them. Big brand name to protect. I've met their lawyers, men whose briefcases are filled with broken teeth. You must understand.
I doubt the police are going to care. Taiyong Medical is such a powerful company. But overall, I just can't get my head around how stupid this idea was from the beginning. Like, okay, maybe I could buy the whole personality transplant therapy in theory, but the fact that they chose a literal serial killer as a template is like deranged. Like, how could you think this is going to work out? I don't understand that.
I'm trying to save Daria. If any part of you cares about what happens to her, now is the time to tell me. What do I need to know to help her?
Daria is beyond help. You're wasting your time.
That's for me to decide. Now tell me about this procedure. And you can quit stalling because I'm not going anywhere until I get the answers I need.
My job was to address people's deficiencies by integrating donor personality packages. That meant we needed lots of confident volunteers to donate time to our project. As you can imagine, people weren't exactly lining up to have a scrape inside their heads. So Taiyong had to diversify.
Once again, not sure I like where this is going.
Taiyong Medical cut a deal with various penitentiaries. Prisoners who took part in our programs, they got granted little perks, bigger cells, running water. The prisons, they benefited from facility upgrades. It was a win-win.
You implanted the personality traits of prisoners into the mentally unstable? Smart. Let me take a wild guess. Daria's donor was Marek Svobotka, better known as the Harvester.
Donor number 698843. All I saw, all I was given, was a series of test scores that showed a perfect match. Everything she was missing, he had. Nothing else mattered at the time.
To be honest, I feel like what he says is bullshit. Like, clearly, if they run some competent... Well, first of all, they themselves knew that it was coming from a serial killer because they procured it. But I'm also quite sure that if you run like a competent profiling on somebody like that, you would uncover the fact that he's clearly not a model citizen. Just the fact that he was outgoing, it almost looks like the only thing they checked was, oh, this guy's an extrovert, so let's take his personality and implant it into this, reclusive, shy introvert, so that she can get out more. But they somehow forgot to check if, on top of being extroverted, he's also a deranged serial killer. And also, I feel like he's also not correct in saying that it's all her fault, because clearly it's, again, kind of analogous to a case of mental illness, maybe even closer than the whole Og incident itself, because basically she has like a split personality, but this time it's directly brought on by a scientific cause, actual technological meddling with her mind. So I don't think she's fully responsible for what she's doing. If anything, I would say they are responsible in a greater degree, because after all, they've done it and they should have known better. They are the experts in this. It's akin to the situation of like your psychiatrist giving you wrong medication that would, for example, make you violent. In that case, I would very much feel that it's the psychiatrist that should be blamed and not the patient, because the patient doesn't know and isn't even expected to know the intricate details of the procedures that are being carried on to him. Like, if you come to a doctor, you put your trust in the fact that he's competent and that he knows what he's doing and that he's going to care for you and for your well-being. So I feel like this is the closest to my intent.
An innocent woman's been turned into a vicious killer, in large part because of a procedure you carried out. I'd say that matters.
Daria wasn't turned into anything. She willingly participated in a procedure. Now she is willingly killing people. You may choose to see a causal relationship between those two things, but let me assure you, it's more complicated.
Save it for the lawyers. What I need to know is how to stop her.
All right. Look, we obviously want the same thing here. Daria has a neural chip installed just above the hairline. She won't let you get anywhere near it. So if you're serious about putting an end to this, you'll have to,
What, kill her?
That would be my preference, yes. Or I suppose you could just incapacitate her, but then you run the risk of having her wake up. Not a risk I would take personally.
But there's a keyword that can shut down the chip.
I know there's a keyword that can shut down the chip. I read about it in your notes. Why would you try to keep that from me?
Because I knew you would overestimate what it could do. You're a fool if you think you can just walk up to a killer and say a magic word. It won't undo what she's become. The decision to act on Svobodka's memories, to repeat them, that was all Daria. Simply shutting down the chip at this point will not be sufficient.
That's for me to decide. What's the override phrase?
Ad hominem 2026. But I warn you, do not turn your back on her. And do not underestimate her responsibility in all of this. We all have terrible nightmares. We all have visions of sick and terrible things we could do. But we don't all act on them. You must be careful around her.
I guess that is a very interesting point. because obviously he's trying to cover his own ass, so I'm not sure how much do I believe him, but in theory what he's saying is, you know, actually kind of interesting, because he's right, you know, each of us from time to time has like weird, violent, or, you know, unworthy, oh, this just goes here, unworthy thoughts, you know, just wishing somebody harm or something. But we, especially, you know, in a dangerous or frightening or annoying situations, but we usually don't act on those feelings, and I guess there could be something said about the degree of, because I can't, you know, I'm not an expert, and by I mean Jensen. Jensen is not an expert on this new neural implementation himself, so it's difficult to tell, you know, to what degree she's being literally controlled by that other personality, and to what degree she's just choosing, you know, she's being influenced, but maybe she could resist, maybe she does want to do it, you know, on some level. Maybe it's somehow fascinating. I went the wrong way, I'm an idiot. Maybe it's somehow fascinating to her to do those things, so maybe she is to blame for it after all, but I feel like even if she is, then it's obviously to a lesser degree than it would be in a different situation. So I think what I'm going to I think what I'm going to do is I will use the code phrase first. See what it did I get. How did I go wrong again? Frick. I'm being spotted. I'll use the code phrase first, see what it does, and then, frick, I'm dead. I didn't notice that turret. And I guess I'll make my decision later on, you know, if she's still aggressive and if I determine that she's still a danger, then I'll take her out, you know, eventually. But I would like to, you know, at least explore all of the other options first. So there is that. But overall, this is a very cool quest. I have to admit that. Although I'm baffled by their decision, like, I'm still not sure how could they think it was a good idea in the first place. But that's corporations for you, I guess. I guess they mostly did it because they could, and not because it would be a good idea. Okay, so I'm here, but this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save and actually confront Daria in the next one. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!